Hey everyone, it's Thursday morning, January 22nd, and welcome back to Capital Markets Quickie. I'm your host, Endrit Sella, here to break down yesterday's market action in just 2 minutes. Quick note before we dive in. Today's episode is brought to you by AMF Capital Asset Management Frankfurt. Learn more about our funds and strategies at amf-capital.de. Alright, let's get started. U.S. stocks surged on Wednesday after President Trump announced that the United States and NATO had formed a framework for a future deal involving Greenland and the wider Arctic region. At the same time, he backed away from previously threatened tariffs on European countries, which immediately eased investor nerves. The Dow Jones Industrial Average jumped roughly 1.2%, while the Nasdaq Composite and the Standard & Poor's 500 each climbed about 1.2% as well. That was a sharp rebound after a pretty rough session on Tuesday when global security concerns sent investors rushing for the exits. With those gains, the Standard & Poor's 500 even turned positive for the year. Markets really picked up steam in the afternoon after President Trump posted on Truth Social that he and NATO Secretary General Mark Rutte had agreed on the framework of a deal covering Greenland and the surrounding Arctic region. That message followed a noticeably softer tone from Trump earlier in the day at the World Economic Forum in Davos, where he called for immediate negotiations and said the United States would not use force to gain control of the Danish territory. In the same post, Trump also said that because of the agreement, he would not impose the tariffs that had been scheduled to take effect on February 1st. Previously, the administration had threatened 10% tariffs on European nations that did not support a U.S. annexation of Greenland. Those threats had kept fears of a renewed trade war alive, especially as European officials warned they were fully prepared to respond with countermeasures. Meanwhile, in Washington, the Supreme Court yesterday heard arguments related to the Trump administration's attempt to remove Lisa Cook as a Federal Reserve governor. The justices appeared skeptical, with concerns that such a move could undermine the central bank's independence and potentially unsettle markets. On the corporate side, Netflix shares fell after the company's quarterly results failed to impress investors. And as earnings season ramps up, experts are pointing out an unusual trend. Even when companies beat expectations, share price reactions have been the weakest on record. Wednesday also marked the start of a busy earnings stretch, with reports from Johnson & Johnson, Charles Schwab, and several mid-sized financial institutions. So yes, diplomacy helped, tariffs paused, and markets breathed a little easier. All right, that wraps up today's Capital Markets Quickie. Join me again tomorrow morning for more market updates. See you then.